This thing. All right, welcome into tonight's Mindset Clinic. My name is Coach Tyler Guzzo. In case you don't know me, we do these mindset clinics inside of our private group, which is what we're doing right now, every single Wednesday night for everybody in the community. And we go over a specific topic. We interview a guest, we interview experts, and we talk about their success, not only in mindset, but also strategies to do so. And so one strategy that I've used for a long time, a very long time. This is a folder of goals, entire folder of goals that I've had since 2017. I had some that went back to like 2012, but those weren't. I was just getting started in the writing of goals. So I find it very important. It's something that I utilize all the time. You guys see this paper over here on my wall. That is my monthly goal list. And so I'm kind of a freak about this. I find it has worked very well for me, and I would be frankly lost without it. So I'm going to go ahead and share a presentation with you that took me a good amount of time to compile together and make sure that it's organized. That way it's understandable. That way, by the end of this, you're going to be able to master the art of goal setting. And this is going to be a roadmap to your success. And it's going to empower you to achieve your fitness goals, but not just fitness goals, any other goal that you might have, how you can set up a strategy and how you can make a step-by-step plan to get it, and how some research shows writing your goal and having people to hold you accountable and getting feedback really increases your chance and likelihood of achieving those goals. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this, guys. I'm going to share my screen. I want to welcome on in Pam, Eliza, Jessica. Thanks for being here. Erica on the Facebook group. So here we go, guys. Got my little presentation here. Once again, guys, we're going to be talking about mastering our goals. All right. We're going to be talking about how we can master our goals and how we can make it a little bit easier along this roadmap. So first things first, guys, understanding goals and goal setting. So the definition of a goal, okay? And this is more or less just the conversational. This isn't the Merriam-Webster definition of goals, but a goal is any desired outcome that wouldn't otherwise happen without some kind of intervention. A goal is a detour from the path of least resistance, okay? So the reason why I put that second part in there is because a goal isn't like get up and change the channel. A goal isn't like, get up and do something that's super simple and easy, right? It's something that you feel like is out of your, range, something that is out of your capabilities at this current place in time right now. So something that is challenging. So I want to make that first and foremost. When we talk about a goal, we're talking about something that is challenging, something that right now you might not think is possible. You might say, I don't think I can do that. I don't think that's possible for me. I don't think that I have those capabilities. Well, I've been in that position. I'm sure you guys have been in that position in many other areas, but I know that fitness is why we're here today. So we're going to talk specifically about that. Next part, goal setting is the deliberate process of defining clear and achievable objectives that guide your actions and efforts toward desired outcomes. Okay. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I know what you're thinking. All right. I already know it. Do I have to? Do I have to be crazy like Tyler and have a folder full of goals and documents and things? And it takes time to set my goals, right? What if I put all this work in and it doesn't work out? I failed in the past. What if it happens again? I don't want to set my hopes too high just to let myself down. Now, I'm not just making all that up. Those are all things that I have heard when we get to the certain point in the one-on-one program where I say, hey, guys, we are going to complete our accountability calendar. We're going to set up an accountability calendar, and that is going to be something that I'm going to need you to fill out, complete, and make sure that you have it ready for the coming month. Because essentially, this isn't something that everyone does. This is not something that day to day, month to month, year to year, you're setting goals, right? And I understand that. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that these are some of the reasons why I think that people are like, I don't really want to do it because it's going to stress me out. Right? It's going to take too much time to set the goals. And what if it doesn't work out? I just wasted all that time setting these goals and getting my hopes up, and in the past didn't work. And I get it. I said the same thing to myself. I was going to add in some slides here, but I did not get the chance to. I ran 2 marathons, and I tore my ACL 4 times. And I don't say this to brag. I say this because after I tore my ACL for the 4th time, the doctor pretty much said, we're not going to repair this last one because you don't really have an NFL career. And you can live without it. You can basically run straight and forward. You can't sprint really. You can't go side to side. You can't do fast stop movements, right? What you can do is go forward and back. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try something that I've never done in my life ever. And if you guys, shout out to all my folks from the Quad Cities, have ever run the Bix? I had ran the Bix, which is a 7-mile race in my hometown of Davenport, Iowa, which is very fun, but very challenging. I'd done that probably 3 or 4 times. And a marathon is 4 times that. It's 26.2 miles. So it's not quite 4 times that, but it is a significant distance. And I said, you know what? I kind of want to try this. I kind of want to see if I can do it. And I never forget, I think it was in 2019. Yes, it was. It was towards the end of 2019. I was thinking about doing it. And I had been running a little bit, but nothing crazy. I just enjoy running. I think it's great. Nothing more than probably 3 miles in my leisure time. And then I did those 7-mile races. Well, one night I was sitting there going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I felt like I just needed something to kind of jumpstart me. I felt like I had been slacking in my life. I don't know if you guys ever felt that way, where you just feel like you're not living up to what you could be doing. And I just felt that way. I said, I need to shake things up a little bit. I need to do something crazy. So instead of going out and going skydiving, which I eventually did, but I decided not to do that at that point. I said, I'm going to go run a marathon. And it had been something I was going back and forth on for a long time. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to get back on track and kind of give my life some sort of like jolt, sort of electricity, right? Give me something to go towards. And so I signed up and I ran it. And it really wasn't that great of a time. I got to admit, it was pretty terrible. It was pretty horrible. I think I finished about 5 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. Something like that. It wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't great. I'm sorry. I was way off. It was 4 hours and 50 minutes. It was just under 5 hours. I said, you know what? I'm just going to finish. That's going to be the goal. And I did. I finished. It was great to finish, but the whole run itself was very challenging. The training was challenging, but I used this method to help write out my training. I wrote down my goals. I had, specific dates I wanted to run this by. I had times of the day that I was going to run, so it wasn't that hot. And so I could finish up my run before I had to start my day, right before I had to start working. So I'd wake up sometimes at 3 in, sometimes 3:30 in the morning to go run, to do these long 15, 16, 17 mile training runs, because they took a long time. It took 2-3 hours sometimes to do these runs when I was training. So I had to set up that goal. So I say that all to say, the next year in 2021, so I guess it was about a year and a half later, I said, I'm going to bring my time down. I used the same method to bring my time down to 4 hours. I believe it was 2 minutes. I did not break the 4-hour mark. That was my goal, but I significantly dropped my time almost by an hour. That's why I corrected myself. I remember in my head, it was about an hour, but it was amazing. It was an incredible experience, but it was very challenging. And the reason why I say the marathon is because that is a physical feat that I didn't even think was possible. I didn't think I could do that, especially with my knees the way they were, right? So I've used it myself and it's helped immensely. Now, why set goals, right? Why do we do that, right? We know why we don't want to, but ultimately because number one, it's going to enlighten us. Because at the end of the day, it's going to show us what we need to improve on, what areas of our habits, of our character, of our perseverance, different things that we need to improve on. And when we're talking specifically about a work project or getting a promotion or getting better at, our relationships or work-life balance, we're going to see, okay, this is where I need to improve at, because this is my goal here. In order to get to that goal, I need to write out a game plan. But in order to write that game plan out, I need to sit and really evaluate what is it that I need to do more of or do less of that's going to help me get there. It's going to help us find out our abilities and our weaknesses. Number two, it's going to encourage us because we're going to have that written down goal. And it's going to be something that I'd like you to put where you can see it, right? That's why I have it right there next to me at my work desk every single day, so I can see it myself. I would encourage you guys to put down your goals on your bathroom mirror. I've seen that before. Put it on your bedroom doors. When you shut the bedroom, if you're working in your room, you can look at that, put it right at your desk. Wherever the case is, it's going to motivate you and encourage you, right? And the next thing is it's going to enable you, okay? Because a lot of times, just to be honest, we think that we are capable of doing something, or we think something of ourselves, and we set this goal. It takes a lot of courage. Like that running goal, for instance, right? I consider myself a pretty good distance runner, just doing the Bix, doing the 7-mile race, until I realized there's a whole new level of distance running that I was not even privy to. I didn't even realize what it was like to run that far. When you get to mile 21, 22, 23, definitely 24 to 26, you are feeling it, and you are in some serious pain. and your muscles are burning, your calves feel like they're going to cramp up, you're exhausted, you've been running for hours and hours, you're just exhausted. And so it shows you, okay, this is where I thought I was capable of. This is really where I'm at, right? Number two, when you reach that success, and even if you don't, I'm going to talk about this later on at the end. Oh, and by the way, at the end, I'm going to share something special with you guys for those folks that are not in the VIP group. I'm going to share something special with you guys. And even if you guys are in the VIP group, you already have access to it, but I'm going to share it with you guys anyway. So stay tuned to the end for that. But success creates that higher self-confidence because you've not only accomplished something, but because you've had to push yourself, right? And even if you don't, like I didn't reach that sub 4-hour marathon, but the fact that I, beat my time by about 50 minutes, almost an hour, given my history with knee surgeries and things like that, I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? So I wasn't like completely down on myself because I didn't get my exact specific goal, but I said, you know what? I really improved, and that was really hard. And I can say to myself, wow, you really did something that you didn't think was possible, right? And then you can evaluate your achievements and create new ones, right? You can say, okay, how did I do with this? What was my performance like? Well, I can see that this here training method or this here habit, like meditation, helped me focus better, help me with my anxiety, or this here by planning out social events on the weekends ahead of time, help me create that work-life balance, whatever your goal might be, right? Or we're talking about nutrition, evaluate our achievements by saying, okay, meal prepping worked for me, or tracking my food worked for me, or getting a high protein breakfast in every morning helped me reach my protein goal because that is what I was lacking on, right? So going into some studies here, another reason why goals are so effective is because the studies show that it's actually going to help you. Okay. There was a study done by Dr. Gail Matthews. She is a psychology professor at Dominican University in California. Okay. And this study goes into writing goals versus not writing goals. What they did is they found 267 participants, okay, ages 23 to 72. So a wide range of ages and demographics. These people were from US, Belgium, England, India, Australia rather, Japan, entrepreneurs, educators, healthcare professionals, artists. And we see the list here, tons of different backgrounds, right? And their goals, while they weren't fitness related, the goals range from completing projects, increasing their income, increasing their productivity, becoming more organized, increasing performance and achievements, life balance, reducing anxiety, and learning new skills, right? So what they did is they had them write their goals down, these different people, and they broke them down into 5 different groups. And actually, let me go back on that. The first group, they did not write down their goal. So the first group, notice here, they were thinking about their goal. They just thought about their goal. They didn't write it down or anything like that. Group number 2, they simply wrote their goals down. And this was over 4 weeks. Okay. So it was a 4-week goal. Again, it wasn't a super long-term goal, but I think that you could probably spread this out. And it would still probably be about the same result here. Group 3, they wrote their goal down and then added action commitments. Like I'm going to do X, Y, and Z throughout the week, each day, etc. Group 4, they wrote their goals down, had action commitments, and then sent their goals and action commitments to a supportive friend. They just said, hey, here's my goals. This is what I'm doing, kind of a second layer of accountability. And group 5 took it all the way home. They wrote their goals down, had action plans to go with it, and then they had weekly progress reports with a friend. So group number 1, they just thought about their goal. Group number 2, they wrote their goals down. Group number 3, they wrote their goals down and added an action plan. Group 4, they wrote their goals down, added an action plan, and then sent their goals and action plans to a friend. And group number 5 wrote their goals down, had action commitments, and then also did a weekly progress report with a friend. And the results were definitive. Type in the chat box or type in the Facebook comments what you think, which group you think did better. Type in the comments or in the chat box which group you think better. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Which one you thought did the best? Okay, I'm going to share those results with you here in just 1 second. We got group number 1. They wrote their goal, or they thought about their goals. 2 wrote their goals down. 3 goals with action plan. 4 goals with action plan, sent that to a friend. Number 5 wrote goals down, action plan, and then had a progress report at the end of each week. You guys tell me what you thought. Let's see. All right. We got a 5. Group number 5. That's a great guess. That is a great guess. Christy, what's going on? Erica, yes, Erica is down 30 pounds and off the diabetes meds. Erica, Chrissy, who do you think got it? Guys, if you're watching this on the replay, type in the comments what you thought, which group did best. Okay, we got a group 5, got a group 5, 2 group 5s. Let's check it out. Boom! Group 5 crush it. And the group that did the least or reached their goals at the least percentage was the unwritten goals. Okay. And you'll notice here, group 2, 3, 4, and 5, each one of those wrote down their goals. Every single one wrote down their goals. The biggest difference between group 4 and 5 and the rest, or I guess 2 and 3. So if we cancel out group 1, right? They didn't write their goals. They just thought about it. That makes sense, right? Obviously, we're doing a presentation about writing goals down and why it's so important. So obviously the written group is going to do better. But the biggest difference between the out of all the groups, 2 through 5 wrote down their goals. Group 4 and 5 had accountability. Group 4 added the layer of accountability by sending their goals and their action plans to a friend. Group 5 had a progress report each week with their friend about their goals and their action plan and how they did. So that is why you can see this here. And actually, a meta-analysis here, we got a little superhero guy over here. And that was me in a past life with my little mask on. But feedback majorly increases success. There was a meta-analysis done by Locke and Latham, and they were actually, these guys actually wrote down a study, or they did a study that was a giant meta-analysis that went over all kinds of studies on goals. And this was actually in 1990, so it's a little bit older of a meta-analysis, but still, the results were pretty substantial. 17 out of 18 studies, goals plus feedback produce significantly higher performance than just goals alone. And let's take a look at that again. We go back and we see that with the feedback, right? Group 4 and 5 did better than the rest of the groups. 21 out of 22 studies found that goals plus feedback was significantly better than feedback alone. So that's really, really, really impressive. That's really, really, really impressive. So at the end of the day, how do we do the goals? How should we write them down? And how should we gauge our performance? It's the next step. That is the next step. Give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. So, sorry about that, guys. Had someone knock on the office door. So back to it. So following the SMART framework, that is a big thing that we utilize in the group. If you guys are in the group, we talk about this a lot, and that is setting specific goals, right? What is the specific goal that you want? In terms of fitness, we'll talk about Erica Munoz. She's on here right now. She's lost 30 pounds, and she just got told by her doctor yesterday, no more metformin. All right, her A1C was at an 11 when she started, and she's at a 5.9. 5.7 and below is out of the pre-diabetes range. So that is really, really impressive. Let's give it up for Miss Erica Munoz on her amazing accomplishment. Okay. So essentially, what she did when she started the program was set a specific goal. And actually, that was her number one goal, was to get off of her medication. She wanted to get off of her medication, right? Yes. Claps for Erica. Jessica's giving you all kinds of love here, Erica. And she wanted to get off her medication. Okay. So we have, it's very specific. It's talking about improving your health and really getting off the diabetes meds. So measurable. It's obviously measurable. We could have put a timeline on it, but we didn't really want to like make that a specific timeline. We did have a goal to lose a specific amount of weight. Okay. And so we're still on that path right now, but nevertheless, we did have a specific goal. Okay. Is that achievable? Were the things that she was asking about, were they achievable? Okay. Yes, it's very achievable. Okay. Something that might not be achievable is saying Erica is going to be a WNBA all-star, right? No offense, Erica. You just don't have the height. I'm not sure about your basketball game. All right. But at this point, it's probably not going to happen. Is Erica going to go to the moon? Maybe. But we want to be realistic. And that goes into the next one. Is it relevant? Erica going to the moon, she doesn't care about that, right? So I think a lot of times, and the reason I put the star here is because here on the accountability calendar, which I'll show you guys here in a second, it is realistic. And I change it to relevant because it needs to be relevant to your life. And I find in the age of social media, we a lot of times compare ourselves to other people. We a lot of times look at what other people have and say, I want that, just because we see it and they look happy. We see it and in the moment, like, oh, that looks great. But at the end of the day, yeah, Erica says she's terrible at basketball. Well, see, I was right. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that's still on our path, right? It is something that we want to achieve, right? So not everybody should come in the program and say, oh, I want to gain strength, and then say, oh, now I want to be a power lifter. Maybe you could, but ultimately you might just mean you want to gain strength because you want to be able to pick up your grandson or your granddaughter, or you want to be able to push your daughter's stroller in the park, right? It's got to be relevant for you, and it's got to be something that you feel like I shouldn't say it's got to be. It should be something that is on your path, on your journey, relevant to your life, your desired outcome. And it's got to be time-based, right? Most cases, you want to say, I want to do this in the next year, 2 years. That way it kind of gets you motivated to get there in the fast, timely manner that you would like to. It shouldn't be something where you're like, you know what, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Okay, great. What's the time frame? When do you want to do it, right? Now, of course, you don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to give yourself too much anxiety because this is a marathon, okay? It's the never-ending, what was we called the other day? The adventure to nowhere, right? The adventure that never ends. And so you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind and don't get overstressed. Like back to my marathon analogy, if I would have said, oh, I didn't reach my under 4-hour marathon, I just can't believe it. You also want to say, you know what? I made a lot of good accomplishments. I'm going to share a quote with you at the end by Jim Rohn that I really like. And before I do that, though, I want to share with you guys the accountability calendar. This is something that we share. And if you guys are in the program, you know all about it. It is a very, very, very thorough document that you can utilize, that I utilize every single month. And I have so many of them here in this folder. It's unreal. But what it allows you to do is to, up at the top, write 2 or more health fitness goals and then 1 or more life goal, and then fill in the box upon completion, right? So you want to follow this SMART kind of framework here. It's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable. It's got to be achievable, relevant, and time-based, okay? And so I might say, okay, what I want to do by the end of this month, and I try and keep it more action-based versus results-based. The longer-term goals are those results-based, losing 50 pounds, getting off medication, etc. But with these month-to-month goals, I find it's a little bit better. Of course, you can do like a 5 to 7 pound weight loss goal. It's definitely achievable in a month. Lose 2 inches off my waist, definitely doable in a month. Things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I find it's better to say, okay, what exactly is going to get me there, right? Maybe it's going to be doing my workout 3 times a week, every week this month. Maybe it's going to be, I feel like I need to relax a little bit. I should meditate. So I'm going to meditate every weekday this week because weekdays are the most stressful. So I'm going to write up here, meditate 5 times 4, 20 times during this month, right? And when I do it, I'm going to check it off. And then at the end of the month, likely you're going to feel a lot more relaxed, or likely you're just going to have built up the skill to meditate, right? Something that should cause you to relax, right? And then down here, you can go something like this. Stay within my calories, 5 out of 7 days of the week, out of 3 out of 4 weeks, something like that, something that's action-based, right? Over here on the left, what daily or weekly tasks do you need to accomplish to reach your monthly goals? It could be maybe meal prepping, maybe tracking your food when we're talking about the calorie goal. Maybe when we're talking about meditation, what daily or weekly tasks? Maybe I need to get a free trial to the Calm app or some sort of meditation sound on YouTube, etc. And I need to do that. You write that over here on the left. Right over here, right? Who or what is your motivation? Why is this so important to you? For Erica, her motivation are her boys. Her boys are her motivation, right? For me, it might be, you guys. Maybe it's everyone in the group that really motivates me to become the best version of myself, so I can not only talk the talk, but walk the walk, right? Lead by example type thing. Last but not least, write a quote or mantra below that inspires or motivates you. And essentially what that is anything that is moving you, right? It's pretty self-explanatory, but I think it's something that you guys can all get there. And then at the bottom, you sign it. And that is just like you making a promise to yourself that you're going to accomplish those things. And so at the end of the day, guys, if you guys want access to this and you're not in the VIP group and you're watching this at a later date, type goals down below, all right, in the comments, and I will send you the link to this document and you can print it out month after month after month. And we're coming up on October, the last 3 months of the year. October, November, December. This is the hardest time I've found for people to be motivated on their fitness journey, aside from June and July. Okay. And so if you are somebody who wants to finish out the year strong and you want something that's going to help you to stay accountable and be, writing down your goals, but also have that feedback from yourself, because you can look at these dates and look back and say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, you look back and say, okay, I marked these things down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wow. Those days, I really don't need to worry about it. So next month, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to follow my calories on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I know Monday through Wednesday, I'm on point. I'm good. But those weekends always get to me, right? Or maybe I just don't meditate on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because I'm so busy, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I always meditate, right? So what I need to do is make sure that I focus my goals on those days where I'm kind of lacking, right? And that comes back to the 3 E's that we talked about above, right? Meaningful insight into our abilities and weaknesses. And then we can say, okay, why is it that on the weekend I don't, or why is it, that I'm so busy on Monday through Wednesday that I can't seem to meditate? Let's dive deeper. Maybe it's because I fall behind, or maybe it's because, there's a ton of work on Monday and I need to ask my boss to spread out through the week so I can have a little bit of sanity, right? Something like that. And those kinds of things are really going to help change your day to day, because you're going to be able to dive into how you're performing, not only on these specific tasks, but like I just mentioned, with your work tasks and how you can spread that out. You can make those actual lifestyle changes that are going to help you to achieve your goals long-term, not just here. So think about this as a science experiment. Think about this as something that is like you diving into you. You're experimenting on yourself, and maybe this can help you not to reach your goal, but get closer. And then the next month you reach your goal, or the next month, right? And at the end of the day, I wanted to share this quote with you from Jim Rohn and wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat box or put them in the comments down below. And again, if you guys want a copy of this and you're not in the group, type goals down in the comments below and I'll get this to you. But Jim Rohn, this guy is very successful, great speaker. He says, every time we choose action over ease or labor over rest, we develop an increasing level of self-worth, self-respect, and self-confidence. The final analysis is how we feel about ourselves that provides the greatest reward from any activity is not what we get that makes us viable. It is what we become in the process of doing the thing that brings value to our lives. Wow, that's powerful. I want to let that sink in for a second, okay? It's how we feel about ourselves that provides the greatest reward. And I got to say, looking back on running that marathon and running the second one and seeing my change in time, I'm sure asking Erica, getting off of her medication, that's really good because it's going to help in many different areas of her health, not just getting off of the diabetes medication, but also helping out her other internal organs, and also, not having to take medication. That's pretty cool, right? But now the feeling that you get about yourself is amazing, because you've accomplished something that you didn't think was achievable at one point in time. And if you fit in that boat, put an emoji in the chat box. If you've done something and you can look back now and say, wow, I didn't think I'd achieve that. And I did. And if you felt the feeling and you still get that feeling a little bit now, put an emoji in the chat box or the comments, because you deserve some kudos. You deserve some public recognition for whatever it is that you accomplish. And that probably gave you a lot more confidence in yourself. And it's what we become in the process that brings value to our lives, right? So I talked earlier about that, not necessarily about the specific goal, right? Whether you reach the goal or not, obviously we want to reach our goals, of course, and writing down our goals is going to help increase our ability, our chance of reaching those goals. Getting feedback and actually having support is also going to help you achieve those goals. That's why you guys in the one-on-one program, every week we have a call. We have our goal tracker. We have different specific things that we talk about each week to give you feedback and give you that outsider's point of view, because you are the client. You're the person that's hammering the nail every day on your health and fitness goals, your mindset goals. You're doing these things. And, the coaches, myself, Stefan, Chelsea, Daniel, we're all here to just say, okay, this is what you did. This is what we can maybe improve on, or this is what you did, and look at the amazing result. Let's keep that up. Okay. And so at the end of the day, having that feedback is going to be important. But the most important part is you having that feeling and feeling that confidence. It is activity that converts human dreams into human reality. And the conversion from idea into actuality gives us a personal value that can come from no other source. Powerful, powerful, powerful quote. Oh my God. It is activity that converts human dreams into human reality. Those ideas that you had, those kids that you had in your mind, that beautiful house that you once had in your mind, that beautiful family you once had in your mind, that amazing career, that life that you once dreamt of, that was all in your mind. And what made it happen is the activity. It converted all that into what you have now. You should be very proud of yourself. Okay. And that's what gives us the personal value. It can't come from any other source, in my opinion. Of course, happy with your kids, happy with your income, happy with your house, happy with your family. But to be proud about yourself on like a deep level, that those dreams came true for you. You deserve a pat on the back. You deserve some kudos. So I just want to say I'm grateful for you guys all for being here, whether you're here live in the Zoom room, in the Facebook group, whether you're watching this on the replay. I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you all very much. And once again, if you guys want to get a copy of the accountability calendar, type comment goals below, and I will get that over to you. I'm going to stop the recording and open up for questions right now. If you guys don't have any questions, then we will call it. But again, I really appreciate your time and attention. So any questions that we have here, guys,